Welcome to chapters 15, 16, 17, and 18 of the Turning Pro Book Club, found at go.fsbb.io. We'll see you guys there. Let's jump in. Resistance and addiction. The pre-addictive individual, i.e., you and I, when we were young, experiences our calling to art, to service, to honorable sacrifice. In other words, we experience positive aspiration, a vision of the higher realized self we might become. The intimidation of this calling is followed immediately by the apparition of resistance, fear, self-doubt, self-sabotage. What makes this moment so soul precarious is What makes this moment so soul precarious is that most of us are unconscious in this event of both our aspirations and our resistance. We're asleep. We know only that something is wrong and we don't know how to fix it. We're restless, we're bored, we're angry, we burn to accomplish something great, but we don't know where to begin, and even if we did, we'd be so terrified that we still couldn't take a step. Enter a drink, a lover, a habit. Addiction replaces ambition. The quick fix wins out over the long, slow haul. Addiction and shadow careers. When we can't stand the fear, the shame, and the self-reproach that we feel, we obliterate it with an addiction. The addiction becomes the shadow version, the evil twin of our calling to service or to art. That's why addicts are so interesting and so boring at the same time. They're interesting because they're called to something new, something unique, something that we, watching, can't wait to see them bring forth into manifestation. At the same time, they're boring because they never do the work. Instead, the addict enacts his aspiration in shadow form. The addiction becomes his novel, his adventure, his great love. The work of art or service that might have been produced and replaced by the drama, the conflict and suffering of the addict's crazy, haunted, and shattered life. The addict as a dramatic hero. Robert McKee, in his story seminars, testifies that the essential quality in a fictional protagonist, i.e., the hero in a book or a movie, is that he or she must possess the passion and the will to push the story to the limits of human experience in order to achieve their goal. Otherwise, there would be no story. This heroic monomania is also the definition of an addict. The lush or the junkie will sell her own mother to score the substance she is jonesing for. And so why I don't knock addiction. Addictions are not, quote, bad. They are simply the shadow forms of the more noble and exalted calling. Our addictions are our callings themselves, only encrypted and incognito. They are a metaphor for our best selves, the coded version of our higher aspirations. Addictions and shadow careers are messages in a bottle from our unconscious. Our self, in the Jungian sense, is trying to get our attention, to have an intervention with us. The question we need to ask of our shadow career or of an addiction is the same question the psychotherapist asks of a dream. What is our unconscious trying to tell us? Man, these chapters hit hard, and I wanted to put all these chapters together because the reality is I know of so many people who are just starters. You know them. You know those people. You know those people who just start a lot of stuff. And frankly, I've been on the internets and in communities long enough that I've actually met, maybe 10, 20 individuals who have, over the last 10, 15 years that I've known them, constantly started many things and have finished zero. They're flailing. They're constantly flailing, right? They allow the resistance and the addiction to their dramatic hero of starting a new project be all that they can be, and yet they self-sabotage. I have ideas in my head, friends. I have a man right here that I'm thinking about right now. He is the greatest example of a self-sabotager. Dadgummit, this guy could make hundreds of millions of dollars. He could make so much money. But there's almost something in him that doesn't want to win. Like when he's at the point where it's like, dude, you could execute, make that money. You've done it. Like you've done all the hard work. All you have to do is, and then like he quits or he self-sabotages. He's addicted. This individual in my head, friends, is addicted to the failure. They're almost addicted to non-success. It's like, I'm at the cusp of success. Well, I don't want to actually be successful, so let me just ruin everything right now. There are men and women that are like this, friends. You know them. You've met them. And so this idea of resistance and shadow careers and having and enjoying the story of the ups and downs, that is not our place. That is not where we need to be. We need to be men and women who are focused, men and women who are taking our lives seriously, being responsible for the time that we've been given here. And so, I have a couple questions for you today on this chapter 15 through 18, addiction and resistance. Resistance is fear, self-doubt, and self-sabotage. Addiction replaces aspiration. Addicts are boring because they never do the work. That hit me hard. Addicts are the worst. They're so boring because they talk about all this big jazz, but you know what? They never do the work. So, question number 1 for you guys today. What is your biggest resistance you face in life today, barring you from doing what you already know you need to do? Write it down. And number 2, so far, after we've gone through these chapters in Stephen Pressfield's Turning Pro, question number 2 is, what is your unconscious trying to tell you now? I'm curious. Let us know in the community at go.fsbb.io. I'll see you guys there.